the room, you can't move, you can't speak. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
You know, you're looking out into the darkness and then you see a figure, but it's darker than the darkness.
I just get this like really creepy feeling, and I see this like shadowy, demon-looking figure in the front seat of the car.
She used to come into my room at night and stand right by my bed, and I just was petrified.
I remember I saw something fly by my bedroom window. We heard the bathroom door shut. So then we looked out my bedroom window down the hallway, and the bathroom door was wide open.
So we came around the bend and we saw eye shine. This thing stood up. I mean, it stood up. And it had high pointed ears. It had a snout, had a long arm, and it grabbed the deer.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky podcast. I am so excited. We got one of my favorite people back on the show today, and the Freaky fam have been saying, where is JJRose777? Well, here she is. JJ, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky.
Hi, Tommy. Hi, you all.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. It's been too long. It's been too long. I know we have
been.
talked. It's not like we haven't talked since we've done a lot. We do talk quite a lot, but not actually on the podcast.
Yes.
So this is
your
9th appearance on Let's Get Freaky.
I'm gobsmacked by it. Wow. I'm honored and I'm gobsmacked. And,
it's an honor to have you.
You know, I could say I remember you when.
Well, so 3 years ago to this day, practically, you was on Let's Get Freaky for the first time. And you just blew my mind then, and you carried on blowing my mind. And I know you blow a lot of people's minds. You're very cool. For anyone that hasn't listened to any of your episodes before, don't know where they've been if they haven't, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a lot of things. I have notes this time. Came all prepared, Tommy.
Got notes, JJ.
I got notes. So I'm a metaphysical teacher, spiritual mentor, light worker. I'm an all elemental, solitary, eclectic white witch, because that's a mouthful. I'm also an ordained non-denominational minister. I'm the psychic lead for a paranormal investigation group called Scary. I am also an energetic and physical defense instructor and a makeup artist. And I have all the clairs, and I do a lot of really fun, cool things. And I have a tiny little YouTube channel that I try to put out goodness into the world and teach all the wonderful things that I've been taught and just try to pass them on to the world. And a place, I'm not selling anything. You know, I don't have a book or anything like that. I'm just trying to be a safe space for people to find good information.
Yeah, you're absolutely awesome. I know you help a lot of people out. I know you have through Let's Get Freaky as well. I know a lot of people that have, come back to me and said, oh, JJ's amazing. She helped me do this and that. And that's really cool. I know you help a lot of people. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
What is the name of your channel is JJRose777, right?
It's that simple. I try to make it really simple.
And of course, it'll be in the show description so people can go straight after, listen to us first, and then go straight up and subscribe. Right now. So yeah,
9th show.
9th show. It's
so
wild.
Tommy, you and I talked 3 years ago, almost to the day, and I was your 22nd episode.
Wow.
It was that early in.
Yeah.
When you were still just a wee lad doing the podcast. I love.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, and that was in November, and then fast forward, so that was in November of 2022. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
I know. And then fast forward to January of 2023, that's when we did our PSA episode, which I'm still incredibly thank you, for just on the drop of a dime doing that. And if you don't know the backstory with that, basically my phone was in my bathroom. I am in the room across this, like clear across the room. Like room's pretty large. And so as I'm walking towards bed, all of a sudden my phone turns on and Tommy starts talking. And I'm confused because my phone was not only all the apps closed, but it was also locked. And there's a code to get in. So someone had to do a lot, to make that just randomly start playing. And then on top of it, I got this huge download that, okay, I need to release this information. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll do it on my channel. And then Tommy's talking in the bathroom, and I'm like, that's weird. And I go over and I heard Spirit say, nope, you need to record with Tommy. So I reached out, and obviously time difference, you're asleep by the time I'm going to bed. And the next morning you were like, yeah, like, let's do it. A drop of a dime on a Friday with, mere hours of me asking you. And then Eric from Uncomfortable Podcast jumped in, and then our wonderful friend Emily decided to jump in as well and assist. And it was really, really powerful. And I've actually had someone who heard that all these years later who reached out and said that it really, really helped them. And then we connected from that all these years later. So it's still doing its job, Tommy. I couldn't be more grateful.
I mean, that's amazing. Was that quite recently someone reached out? Like very recent?
It was. Apparently there is a little part right at the end of the PSA where we were just kind of free talking about why Spirit chose you. And at the time, you were new and you were a relatively small podcast. And I was even befuddled, like, okay, if Spirit wants this to go out to a ton of people, like, I don't really understand. And then Eric got involved, and I thought, okay, maybe it's that. Maybe you guys solidify your friendship. Like, I don't know how Spirit works. It's just, this is the whole episode is going to be about Spirit having me do a whole bunch of weird stuff and how it turns out. So it'll be fun. Stick with us. But yeah, so this person ended up finding you, Tommy, and went back to the beginning. The way that I like listening to podcasts, always go back to the beginning and listen to how they evolve.
Stay with us.
Right? And at the end, they caught something, and they said, I know time doesn't work the same for you, but I know that message is for me. And they reached out, and it was a huge step for them. They don't normally reach out to anyone like that. And so it broke that social barrier that they had. And, I made a new friend, and it was absolutely wonderful. And it just shows that the work is ongoing. Like something we did all those years ago comes around full circle, and it's still helping.
Wow, man, that gave me chills. Wow. I mean, you don't realize that when you put this down, obviously you realize people are going to listen to it, but you don't realize it's going to impact someone's life in that way. And that's very special. That's very special. And I remember at the time when we recorded that, not long after, you told me it helped someone else as well. And that blows my mind, man. It's very special. And it's an honor. It's an honor to do that for someone,
It is. And I'm sure there's many others that things have helped, and we're not going to hear about those, right? But the few instances that we get to, it's just that extra little from Spirit being like, hey, you're doing this for a reason, keep doing.
No, that's so cool. That's so, because I'm a huge podcast lover. Like, obviously I do a podcast, but I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. And there's been podcasts where I've listened to a podcast, I'm having a bad day, and that podcast is, you go into someone else's world for a little while, you're hearing the conversation, you're kind of involved in it. That's how I feel with podcasts. You feel like a part of it. And there's been many podcasts that have cheered me up on a rainy day. So the fact that I can be that for someone else, and that's amazing. So thank you, JJ. Thank you for including me in that.
Well, thank you for being a platform to do it, because it's good work. It's light work.
JJ, yeah. So what's been going on since you were last on the podcast? What's been going on?
Oh my goodness, this year has been a thrill ride, let me tell you. So I personally haven't done like a ton of content this year. I slowed down for a multitude of reasons. I had some health stuff come up that everything spirit was pointing to was like, hey, we kind of need you to like take care of you. I'm like, okay. And I admit I am really not the best when it comes to self-care. Like I will lecture on it, and I'm usually looking in the mirror lecturing myself on it, but I'm not perfect. So I every one of these weird things that would happen would lead me to meeting someone, and the first one was my I get my labs done pretty often for specific reasons because my iron keeps dropping like dramatically and quickly, and we're trying to figure out why. So we had done my labs, and I had gone on this journey of basically only eating 5 foods for like 3 months to see if we could figure out, am I allergic to something, like what's going on. And I had my labs done multiple times, and I get them done, let's say first of the month, and I'm feeling good, right? I'm like, oh, I finally turned a corner, like this is amazing. And then all of a sudden it kind of felt like maybe I got like a virus for a week or two, and my mom had it too. So I thought, okay, maybe there's just a little bug going around. And then I just never pulled out of it. And I was getting more tired, which is weird, right? Because like normally with the virus, you start having that uptick towards the end when you start feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling better in one instance, but not in this other. And so I tell the doctor, I'm like, hey, maybe I need an antibiotic again. I don't know what's going on. She's like, oh, let's run labs. Like, let's just see. In the course of 1 month, now mind you, I just had an IV of iron. So I had a year's worth of iron given to me 3 months before, or 2.5 months before. So I should be good for a year, right? Like, yeah. And in the course of 1 month, my iron went from like rock solid, like you're not going to need iron for a good long while, to 2 points away from needing a blood transfusion.
Oh man.
Yeah. Little surprise there, huh? And my magnesium had plummeted and all these other levels. And I was just like, what is like, how? I'm not. The first thing my doctor says is, are you like an Olympic athlete? And I said, ma'am, have you met me?
Yes.
No. I mean, I astrally, and yeah, sure, but not physically. And so we had a good chuckle over that. She's like, I'm not able to figure this out. I'm like, well, neither am I. So lots of exploring with that. But what I noticed was during that time period when my iron was low, the information spiritually that I get is very, very clear, and it's constant. And I would notice when my iron was higher, I wasn't getting as much information, possibly not paying as much attention because I'm feeling good. So I want to do all the things that I'm not doing when I'm not feeling great because my iron's low and I can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, not can't, it's just harder to. So I went through a lot of that. And then I finally start to recover from that. Like we did another infusion, and, I'm taking all the things and back on that weird diet of, eating 5 foods. And I started doing better, and I'm feeling good, and my labs are looking good, and like everything's great. And I'm like, finally, like I'm on this uptick. And then on June 6th, so 6/6, I'm minding my very own best business at a red light. And out of absolutely nowhere, this car just comes from 2 lanes over and just aims for me and then hits me and then drives up the side of my car. Now, when it happens, I'm at a red light and I'm not expecting anyone to be doing that. And so I thought we were having an earthquake because it wasn't like a hit and then it stopped. It like kept going. So I'm looking around thinking, oh, there must be an earthquake. Why is no one freaking out? And then I look and there's a car in my back seat, and I'm like, oh, not a quake. So the person driving that car, like I make eye contact with them, and we both kind of blink, like, okay. And then they reverse into oncoming traffic without looking. He's still staring me right in the orbital sockets. reverses into oncoming traffic, hits another car, puts it in drive, still locking eyes with me, and then aims for me again. And I just laid on the horn and started, flailing my arms, saying, like, please don't hit me again. And finally he stopped. And it's fine, like insurance, the whole thing, right? Like everyone's okay, thankfully. Like no one was bleeding, no ER needed to be had. So we, all exchange info, and I'm just kind of shaking my head, going like, what was that? It's so weird, right? And so he hit the rear passenger side of my car. Okay. So I do what I need to do, and then I go home, and obviously you're on the phone with insurance for hours doing all the things. And I always had heard after an accident, you need to always wait 24 hours because you could start seeing swelling or, things could get hurt because all that stress, right? And all the adrenaline. And a couple hours later, I'm like, my husband asked me something. I go to turn and I can't move my neck fully. I'm like, oh. And then the next morning I get up and I go to walk and I'm limping. And I'm like, oh, great. And it's all my right half. The arm hurt, the neck hurt, I guess it like sciatica, it like lodged a disc out in my back. And the weird thing is, so I just stopped using the right side, basically. And then it all moved over to the left. And so I haven't been able to do a whole heck of a lot because literally like my left arm I'm not able to do anything with it. It just kind of hangs there.
Oh man.
If I go to grab anything or like if I go to type too much, it hurts. But let me tell you the reason I'm telling you all my woes. So I promise there's a reason I'm explaining all this.
Nice.
So that was on 6/6, right? So immediately my friend for years had been telling me about this amazing massage person that she's been going to. And I've always been like, oh, that's great, and just let it go. And so immediately I contact her and I'm like, hey, remember that, massage lady that you've been talking about? Can I have her info? And she doesn't send me the website. Instead, she just sends me her number. And she's like, yeah, just text her. I'm like, oh, okay. Everyone works different. I have no clue. So I text her and she's like, oh, actually, I've got an opening this Saturday. I'm like, oh, great. Cool. And she works out of the sea salt therapy, which is a place that I've been to before. And the first time I ever went to sea salt, I'm wearing the little sweatshirt that I have made. And this woman who's working there goes, oh, I love that. And then she comes up and she holds my hand. She goes, and I'm like, oh, you're one of us, aren't you? Like we see each other. And so we start talking. She's like, okay, what do you do? And so I tell her, and she's like, well, you come teach classes here. And I was like, teach classes at a salt place in a room made of salt? Like, absolutely. That would be the best. Because, I talk about salt so much, and salt helps clear negativity and transmute energy. And then after that, I never saw the owner again. And when I had gone in another time, it was the other owner, and that conversation wasn't pleasant. So I was like, we're not doing that. Like, that's fine. So fast forward now, it's like 2 years later, and I walk in for my massage. I'm just sitting in the lobby, and this woman comes out and she stops, and she had her phone, like she was getting right, sending a text, and she stops and she looks at me and she goes, holy bleep. And I'm like, hi. She's like, I'm literally texting you right now. And I start cracking up and I'm like, why? What's going on? And she goes, I want you to come here and teach classes. I was literally texting you to ask you, would you come to my sea salt place and teach classes? And this is the owner of Sea Salt, Avery. And so we have a good laugh about it. And we're chatting and catching up. And then I see this little head pop out. She's like, oh, I'll leave you be. I'm like, no, it's fine. Having no clue who this woman is. And I'm like, come on over, join the club. And she's like, oh, hi, I'm Livy. I'm the masseuse. And I'm like, oh, wow. I feel like I know you. And we go back and instantly we become best friends. the whole session is life story and, bend and pop and do all the wonderful things, right? And so we start talking, and I'm like, yes. And so when I had left my house to go to the appointment, Spirit said, grab a bottle of my spray that I make. It's a special clear the negativity spray. It's like a flamethrower to an ant for spirit stuff, basically. And so I grabbed a bottle, and I have no clue why, but I was just told, like, oh, give this to Livy, the masseuse. Okay. So first thing I walk in, I go, hey, this is for you. And I give her, and she goes, oh, did Avery tell you? And I'm like, tell me what? And she's like, well, the only reason that I even had this appointment open and the reason that Avery's here is because today is the only day that's worked in the past 3.5 months for us to come here and clear the salt place. Like, that's why I'm able to see you today. And I'm like, and of course I show up right after you've cleared the place. So I give her the spray, and, we're talking. And then towards the end, I was like, yeah, she wants me to do classes here. Oh, what do you do classes on? So I tell her, and she's like, oh, that's awesome. And she's telling me that she also does sound bowl healing. And I'm like, hey, why don't we team up and do a class together? Like, I'll do my part in the beginning, and then you can end with the sound bowl healing to like energize and solidify all the work that we've done. And that's what we did. We ended up creating a whole series of classes together. And we just finished our first 3 classes that we did. And I'm super stoked about it because, here's this random accident, right? And like, I'm in pain and I have to see her literally like twice a week. So I've gotten to know her quite well. And it ends up leading to us being able to work with and help all these people with these classes.
Yeah, that's also something. Obviously really negative happened, but it's kind of put you in a very positive place with,
Well, and it's also really forced me to do self-care because like I don't have a choice at this point, right? So Spirit was like, you are going to sit down and take care of yourself.
Yeah, because you're always trying to take care of other people. Like you're always telling me to get more sleep and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I will, JJ. I don't get a lot of sleep.
Lying, but yeah.
I don't sleep. I don't get a lot of sleep. Yeah.
I mean, you have little ones. I get it. But we all need more sleep. But so it's kind of funny because it ends up, this accident that was on 6/6 that I'm thinking like, well, that's an ominous number. And again, I've had for years this whole thing of like, hey, if it doesn't happen 3 times, I'm really not going to pay too much attention to it. So when I started seeing her and the classes kind of came into formation, I thought that makes sense, right? Like, I was sent here so I can do these classes with them, and that's great. That's like what we're supposed to do. Well, here's the interesting part. So my neighbor, we share a driveway. She is out driving with her son one day, and I'm working. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and I get a call from her cell, and I kind of freak a little because I'm thinking, oh, is something wrong with the kids, right, or the house? And she goes, it was the son, and now I'm really scared, right? Why are you calling me from your mom's cell? And he goes, hey, we just got in a car accident, and we just wanted to let you know because the little girl goes to school by the house, so like for me to pick her up. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Are you guys okay? Yeah, it's a really weird accident. I said, okay, I'll see you guys when you come home. Like, I'll take care of the daughter, not a problem. And so they drive up home, and I go out to go look at the car. They were also at a red light, and someone came out of nowhere and hit them in the same exact spot as I got hit. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? You can go to the same body shop I went to, which funny enough is literally called, it has miracles in the name, which is interesting now that I think about it. So, okay, so this happens like a month and a half after my accident. And I'm like, okay, it's odd, right? You get hit in the exact same place, exact same scenario. They're at a red light. Someone comes out of nowhere, just hits them, kind of drives up the side of the car, but everyone's okay. All right, great. So fast forward 2 months later, my mom's over at my house. Now, the passenger side of her car is next to the sidewalk. So if her car is going to get hit, it's going to be the driver's side because that's what's exposed to the street. Because I know we drive backwards than you guys. So
I think we're the only ones that drive that
drive
way.
the
I
right
don't know why
way,
we do
but
it that way. I really don't. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So when my mom had pulled up, I went out to her car to go help her with stuff. And I'm looking at the car. The car's fine. And we're inside, we're doing our thing. And then it's around 10:30, 11 at night. Walk her out to the car. And I go to put something in the back seat. And I'm like, Mom, what's going on with the back of your car? And I'm confused. And I go and I look, and the passenger side rear, exactly where my neighbor and I both got hit, someone came and hit her car while it was parked in that part. Now, when I tell you, in order to do this, someone would have had to have literally driven up on the sidewalk, hit her car, driven along the sidewalk, and then reversed out. It makes no sense. But all three accidents are people who were at my house or whose cars reside at my house. So then I started thinking, okay, what do all of us have in common, right? Okay, we're all women. We're all moms, even though I don't have human children. I have human children. I just didn't birth them. And I'm thinking, okay, well, is this like an attack on females? Because it's hitting the right side, which is typically the male side. And I'm still trying to sort it all out. But it's weird. So if anyone has
It is
something they
weird.
want to throw in the ring for
It
that
is
one,
weird. I mean,
please let me.
they say things come in free, so hopefully that's the last one.
Yeah, so I've now revised that of like, hey, if it's going to be something where it's really loud and outrageous, it doesn't need to happen 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely,
Car
absolutely.
accidents, especially.
I mean, your one sounds the worst because the guy's kind of, I mean, he sounds kind of scary. He's looking at you, he's reversed, and then you say
He
he tried
was
to come
so
back.
out of it. So I asked him, we had to park around the block because it was a really busy kind of street that we were on. So we go down this little neighborhood block and we park. And I get out because I'm wondering, like, what is going through his mind? I mean, this is midday. It's like 1 in the afternoon. And he's like a little out of it, but like he didn't look drunk or high or anything. He's in construction gear. And I was like, dude, what happened? And he literally, I'm not making this up, okay? This is verbatim. He says, I don't know. I got distracted looking at the sky.
Oh no.
And so I look at the sky and I was like, was there a UFO? Like, because I'm not
That's understandable.
I mean, you have to be real distracted to hit a car and then keep going and then just stare dead ass at me and then reverse into oncoming traffic blindly.
Yeah.
And then you're going to hit me like, what?
Was
None
he,
of that makes sense.
was he possibly on some substance that was making him?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, unless it was Quaaludes.
I mean, we
but
tell people to look at the sky on the show, but not when you're driving.
no, I mean, and also midday, you don't hear about too many UFO sightings midday. Maybe it's because
Yes.
people aren't really looking. I mean, I don't know.
He was. I mean, I'm not.
I don't know what that man
making
was looking
jokes
at, but I was like,
That's
okay, well, thanks for,
wild.
yeah.
So you've been through it,
Very
JJ. I know you're in a good place now. It's getting better, and obviously you're doing the classes, which is cool. It's like because we talked before about like things happening for a reason and being put in spaces spiritually. So do you think this was kind of meant to happen, even though there was a negative?
No, totally, because I would not have ended up talking to Livy, especially if it wasn't for me, having a car accident. Because I love massages, but to be honest, like I don't do them enough. So I kind of had to be like cajoled into doing something. And, she has nurse history. So she knows the body and the anatomy. And she's actually helped me immensely because she's told me like, hey, I think you better, ask the doctor to do this or that or the other test because this isn't like a regular muscle issue. The weirdest part is for not having used my arm in months. in months. If you felt it, it feels like I do arm day every day. Like there's no muscle loss. I mean, to the point where she's like, "Are you promising me like you're not lifting weights or anything?" And I'm like, "No, there's no muscle loss or any." It's the weirdest thing. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll eventually be okay.
Hmm. It's
The
getting better.
pain is annoying. I'm not used to pain. I've
Hmm.
been very blessed in my life. I really don't have a ton of pain, but um,
Man.
it's new. It's a new experience. I'm definitely having to be in my body more.
Yeah.
I
Man.
exactly love that all the time, but
So the arm strength, is it back to, is it getting back to normal? Or is it
I
still?
mean, the thing of it is like if you went to hand me a coffee cup and I were to use that arm to grab it, it'll immediately fall. And it's not that there's no strength, it's that there's so much pain when I go to use the arm for anything
Oh,
that the arm just wants to be down. It's
oh
pretty
man.
much where it hangs.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not dying, I'm not bleeding, I don't have to have surgery, hopefully that I know
Hmm.
of.
Yeah.
So I got to have a nerve test though. That was pretty incredible. They stick a whole bunch of needles in you and then it'll shock you.
That sounds painful. Is that painful?
It wasn't pleasant, especially because it was first thing in the morning.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, but that was
Oh.
quite the experience. I was like, oh, all of those things are connected. That's interesting.
Yeah. Don't we have all nerves in the end of our fingers, in the end of our
Oh
toes?
yeah, they did that too. Jammed a big old needle into my pinky finger, into the flesh of my palm, and
Oh,
yeah, and then
man.
just electrocuted it. That woke me up. I was
Yeah.
very awake that day.
I'm not sure what the practice is, but isn't there like nerves in our fingers and our feet that like lead to our whole body? Like they can like distinguish what's wrong with you from your feet and your hands. I don't know. I've seen that somewhere.
Um, I don't know. They went up my arm most of the way. I
Mm.
think they're trying to figure out if it's coming from my neck or like is it further down or like what exactly is happening. I don't know. All I know is that was a really intense test and
Yeah.
um wouldn't really choose to do that again. I mean, it was quite the experience.
When the before the accident happened, I know obviously you've got a lot going on. When things are coming. Did you get any vibe that day something was going to happen, or was there any weirdness leading up to that? Like any warnings or anything?
Um, what's funny is the biggest thing that happened right before was I had just gotten the all clear on my labs a week before from the doctor who had said, "Hey, you can start eating like some normal food now." Um, and we got your iron back up, we got your levels back up, like you're doing well. And I was feeling better. So, of course, when I'm feeling good, I go into overdrive mode and I was trying to do a little bit of everything. And honestly, I was probably doing way too much because that's what I do. What I find interesting is the only reason I was out driving at that time is because my neighbor's daughter was at a swim party. She had just graduated and she had forgotten her goggles. And there's a little component of that I'm trained. Okay, she forgot her goggles and I had to go bring her goggles. So, what do goggles do, right? They're protective eyewear so you can see underwater.
Hmm.
Interesting. I don't know how it correlates. I'm still working on it. Like I
Yeah.
said, some of these things are works in progress.
Hmm.
I'll tell you another story if you want one.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about my friend Livy on here a little bit. Shout out to you, Livy Love.
Shout out,
She is
Livy.
a wonderful human being, and I really hope that she will come on my channel one day and tell her backstory because it's incredible. So Livy is the massage therapist, and so the day before I had an appointment with her, but the day before I was working, and I went down for a break. I was feeling fine. It was great, right? I was feeling good. I had energy, like everything was going well. And I go down and I was just gonna, grab myself a juice and probably smoke and then go back up and work more. And all of a sudden, I'm on Instagram just scrolling. And all of a sudden, this feeling comes over me. I'm so tired that it feels like if I don't lay down right now, I'm going to collapse. So, really out of left field. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I stumble over to the couch and I'm like, and I guess I'm laying down now. And so I lay down instantly, I message a couple of people who live near me and I'm like, hey, anyone else having this? Because I'm trying to figure out, is it earthquake tired? Because if all of us are feeling that exact same way, that means there's going to be an earthquake. And, one came back, I'm a little tired, but nothing big. Okay, so this is just me. That's kind of weird. We'll watch it. Sometimes I'm the first to get it. And I lay down for about an hour. And as I do, I had Instagram up. I see this reel of this guy who he makes songs. He remakes songs. So he takes a song he likes and then he does a cover and then he does all the back stuff with like AI and makes it into a brand new rendition of the song. And he had done a cover of Wicked Game, right? The old Chris Isaak song. And it's incredible. And this person's name is Corvyx, Corvyx. Amazing. Definitely look up the music. So I hear the song and I'm like, wow, like that is how you do a cover. Like if you're going to cover a song that's that iconic, you better make it way better, right? And it was. So instantly I'm like, okay, follow, like I'll just listen to this, songs that he's done while I'm laying down doing absolutely nothing because apparently I'm going to die if I stand up. So fine. So I'm letting it go and I'm just napping. And then this song that he had covered comes on and it's called Anyone. And it was a Demi Lovato song from some years ago. And I'm listening to it and I'm obsessed. And it's literally the only thing I listen to for the rest of the day and a half before I see Libby. I mean, to the point where like even because Amazon Music, right, you can like set it to replay. Even Amazon was like, you sure you don't want another song? You play this 48 times in a row, like anything else? I'm like, no, play it again. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I try to listen to another song. Nope, right back to that song. So I get to my appointment and Libby's there and she's like, oh, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, I had the weirdest thing happen yesterday. I got like super tired and had to lay down, but I kicked out of it. I didn't sleep very well, but like I was fine at night. I just don't know what that was. And she's like, what time was it? And I tell her, and she's like, oh, that's interesting. Yesterday, right? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I had an appointment with a client and it completely went in your direction. And internally, I called on you to come help me because it was something I don't normally deal with. It's like more my wheelhouse, right? And she's like, so I called on you. And she said, the weirdest thing happened. Not only did the words that I started to say sound like something you would say, but then the person I was working on literally started to say the things that you would say. And then the whole thing got taken care of and it was done. And I'm like, how long did that appointment take? And she tells me it was the exact amount of time that I was laying down. And I'm like, okay, well, that answers why I had to lay down at that time. Thank you for letting me know. And so, obviously confidentiality, right? I'm not asking her what she worked on or anything. She just said it was more up my neck of the woods. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? It's more of like a attachment probably issue. So then fast forward in the conversation, I'm like, yeah, I ended up finding this song and I've been obsessed by it ever since. Like, I'll send it to you to listen to on your way home. And she goes, what's the song about? And I stopped for a minute and I go, now that I think of it, I have absolutely no reason whatsoever to like that song as much as I do because the lyrics, I don't like those lyrics don't make sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
The song is basically the singer is in a really desperate place and they're screaming out like, can anyone listen to me? Can anyone help me? And it's a very like belty tune. And it's actually a really depressing, sad song, but like your girl over here is just like joyed by it, which is weird, right? So I tell her, and then she kind of stops for a minute and she goes, whoa. And I'm like, what? And she goes, that's kind of the theme of what we were dealing with that I asked you to work on. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this makes a lot more sense because that song like makes no sense for me to be that obsessed with. I mean, it's a good song, don't get me wrong, but 48 times is a lot of times to listen to a song in one night. And so now I listen to the song. It's still a good song, but I'm not obsessed with it anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so weird. So the reason I'm sharing this, your listeners might be like, what is going on? Is someone like me who normally I'm very used to having the information and understanding things. I don't always understand it right when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when spirit tells me to do something or spirit, song comes on or I'm obsessed with it or all of a sudden I have to eat a certain thing or I need to watch a certain thing or whatever. And I don't know why, but it's prepping me for whatever work I'm doing. And there's times I'm working on stuff that I have no clue what I'm working on other levels. And then all of a sudden it makes sense. And I'm like, oh, that's why I was doing that. Or that's why I was so drawn to this particular thing. So look for that in your own lives. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. I mean, you do get that when a song comes on and it hits you and you're like, wow. And you play it over and over again. And you can kill a song if you keep playing it over and over again, but you're loving it for days. I have that. And it like the song reaches you, like it speaks to you. It's like, oh, this is like a message, man. So, yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've had my device at home. I can't say it, otherwise it's going to start talking. But we all have those devices that we say.
Mine goes off when I don't ask for it. It's really weird.
Yes. So I will be perfectly alone and by myself with the TV pretty much on mute. I'm meditating or I'm going to sleep or whatever. And it just randomly goes off and starts playing a song or it starts talking. There was the one night when it said, I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that.
Oh.
And then after that, as I'm quiet and the bird and I are looking at each other like, what? And then it goes, repeat one more time. And then it pauses like it's having a conversation with someone. And then it goes, I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that question. And I'm like, who are you talking to?
Now that's freaky.
So then my mom and I'm over at her house one night because I got her the same device, right? Because we use it for playing music. We don't really use it for anything else. And so I'm at her house and I'm kind of in a place where I can see it because we have it for her kind of in a hallway so that the music can go all over. And I look at it and it's like we were talking about something pretty deep. And then all of a sudden I look at it and it's like flashing lights, but like lights it doesn't have. So the ones that we have only have like two colors, right? It's flashing like rainbow and like a disco. Like basically it's lighting up the hallway to look like it's at like a rave or a disco. And so I ask it, hey, what are you doing right now? And it's like, I have no prompts. And I said, well, what were you doing? And it says, I haven't had a prompt. And then it's like for an hour and a half before. And it names the exact time and the last prompt. And I'm like, why are you flashing those color lights? I'm not flashing lights. It was still flashing the lights. And I said, the lights are flashing right now. And it says, there's no light flashing at my base. I'm only coded to flash this color and this color.
Is it blue and yellow?
I'm like, I know, but you got like rainbow going on. It was like, please unplug the device. And I'm like, I'm unplugging it. We're going to take a moment. I unplug it and it's still flashing for another like 10 seconds.
After you unplug it?
And then finally it stopped. So my mom and I looked at each other and I was like, okay, you heard me ask it. And it's saying it's not doing anything, but it was clearly doing something. And when we looked back on what we were talking about, I was like, yeah, that spirit definitely being like, ding, ding, ding.
Whoa.
Yes.
I mean, because the colors normally are blue and yellow. Is that right? That's normally the only colors, I
Yeah.
think.
Ours are like blue and green.
Okay. Yeah. It might be green. Yeah, mine might be green as well. If you get a notification, it like flashes either like yellow or green, I think. Yeah, it might be green. Yeah. That's weird though. I mean, we
Yeah.
know things happen with our technology, but there seems to
And I
be.
100% know that. It's
Mhm.
when it's having a full-on conversation and answering
Yeah,
someone, and I'm
that
like,
is
I
weird.
just said nothing.
That is weird because it's hearing something for it to respond. That's
Oh, it
weird.
straight up just started playing songs before, and the songs are all like things that I'm working on, or maybe like something I'm getting ready for. I had that one night. I had a clearing scheduled. Let's just say I had the clearing scheduled on a Saturday.
Hmm.
And it's Friday night. I'm in bed trying to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, it literally, and I'm kind of thinking about the clearing. Okay, this is how this is going to go, blah, 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 blah. This is what we're dealing with. And it just starts playing this song that's like explaining everything I'm about to encounter, which is weird because when the clearing happened, something in that song prepared me because I wasn't expecting this one little certain part to happen. And it had prepared me to like at least be conscientious that, oh, this potentially might happen or come through. So it's weird.
That is weird.
I mean, I know it's my spirit team. Listen, I have tea lights in my house that are battery operated, right? And you need a little remote control in order to turn them on, turn them off. They've got two modes: blinky blinky mode that looks like it's a fire, and then it stays constantly lit and off. The remote is in a box under like five other things on the other side of the room because again, I have a bird and my bird will eat everything. So it stays over there. When we would talk about certain subjects, the tea lights would just turn on their own. And I'm like, well, there's no one over by where the box is. And this happened. My mom was here, Hubs was here. I had a friend here once that it happened with. It happened by myself a couple times. And again, I do paranormal investigating. So the first thing that I'm doing is, okay, is there code getting thrown? Is there interference? Is it me on my phone maybe and it's doing a code, or the remote control for the TV? So I experimented several times to the point that I turned all of the breaker box off for the downstairs. So there's no electricity that was running, right? And these things still didn't. So, like, I investigate my own stuff because
Hmm.
I know, sometimes it can be like the bird made a noise or something and it translates it and thinks you're talking to it, right? Or if there's like a bug in the house, it's right over by it or something like that. I get all that. But when it's just me by
Mm.
myself
Yeah.
and there's, middle of the night and it's a very quiet place that I live. So, yeah.
Either that or the AI is taking over, which is another conversation. What are your thoughts on that? On the world that we're
On
in
the
right
AI
now?
taking over,
Yeah.
or
Do you think that's possible? Like that we're becoming in a new age of AI, basically. It's becoming a part of our world. What are your thoughts on that?
well, I live in Silicon Valley, so I know probably more about AI and how much we've all had it in our lives for years
Hmm.
than the average person. When Google came out with the AI feature, which was the search bar, which is that whole thing of like you think about it and it randomly pops up.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So when that came out years ago, Google released it and they released it in our local area first. So basically, where I live, because I'm in the tech hub, they'll always release it here first because we're all techie people. So, for the majority of us. And so we'll kind of work out the kinks before they launch it to everyone. Well, they did a soft launch in our area. And, the majority of people who are using this stuff are like engineers and tech people. So, like, they're kind of in on what's being released and what's working, what's not. When they released it at first, they put it out at level 10, which was like all the way on. Within 2 days, they had so many complaints, not only from people who worked for the company, but also like local people who were using it. It freaked out the logical, like techie minds that understood what was happening
Hmm.
so much that they had to turn it back down to like two. And then what they've been doing slowly over the years is slowly amping it up a little bit. And I mean, the last I heard, I'm not current on this, the last I heard is they said they couldn't go past 7 with the current like mindset because it would freak people out too much. And if you
Whoa.
think about how many people already talk about, well, I think about it and then an ad pops up, or I think
Yeah,
about it and then it's suggesting it, and it's like random stuff. I mean, the algorithm's that good.
absolutely.
And, but this kind of goes to a bigger issue, which is I really, really, really love Chase Hughes. He was just on Sean Ryan. He has a YouTube channel of his own. I know he's been on Rogan and a couple other larger ones.
Hmm.
But he ran and worked with PSYOPs for Army intelligence. He's, got accreditations and degrees up the wazoo. But he's just awesome. And he makes things really, really easy to understand. And if you haven't heard his episode with Sean Ryan, I highly recommend everyone listen to that. Not only because there's a ton of really good information in there, but also because he really breaks down, and this is the important part for me to recapitulate to everyone, is AI is an algorithm based on humans understanding other humans and being able to plug in, these are the reference information we need on you in order to figure out what you're thinking, what your next moves are going to be, and what you're going to be doing going forward. So everyone likes to think, oh, I'm so spontaneous and erratic and this and that. We're not. We're
Yeah.
pretty easily funneled creatures. If you think about AI in that aspect, that's scary
Hmm.
because that means that people, okay, that people who put in the code for the AI have figured out so quickly and easily what makes people tick, what they're going to be thinking about, and how their thought processes are going to go based on the information they're receiving to know and predict what you're going to want or be looking for next.
Wow. Yeah.
And if you think about that in a larger context, it's not the AI that scares me, it's the people behind it who figured
Yeah.
that out. That's what scares me.
Absolutely. I don't know if you heard recently, Elon Musk was talking on Joe Rogan's show, and he was saying that in 5, 6 years' time, he predicted, and you got on, he obviously knows what's coming. He was saying our cell phones, did you hear it, what he said? He said they're literally going to be like no apps. They're just going to be like, they're just going to know exactly what we want to do when we look at our phone. And he said this is coming in like 5, 6 years' time. And right now you're thinking that is insane. Like how are you going to pick up your phone and it's going to know that you want to call your mum or whoever, you know? How's that even possible? But we look how quick AI is moving. And with what you just said there, with how it's predicting what our next movie is going to be, maybe that's what it's going to be, man. That's quite scary.
And it's not all just predicting, it's also funneling you. And
Yeah.
so when you take a step back and you look at, okay, I thought about this random thing. Now all I have on Instagram are these ads for this said random thing. How they know I'd want that? How do they know if they spam me with commercials for it or ads for it, 400 times that eventually I'll break and buy it? Versus those, I don't know about you, but with me, I'm a very ad adverse person. I don't like commercials. I don't like ads. I scroll. I don't even look at them.
Hmm.
And as a result, I'm not out there buying all this weird stuff. I am not your marketing target audience.
Hmm.
The only way you're going to market to me is by having someone I know tell me it works and why. So word of mouth for me, right? Like if you're my friend and you're like, hey, I just, actually, this Kim Bishop from If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything, reached out. She's like, hey, I've been taking these, iron supplements by this company called Primal Queen. They're really, really working for me. Like, do you want to try them out? Here's my code for a discount. Yeah, of course, because they worked for her. And so I have someone who they've tried and true. I've tried like tons of other iron supplements on my own, right? Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them just make your tummy hurt.
Mhm.
So if I have feedback from a live person that I know who's like, yeah, I'm similar to you and these work for me, I will buy that item. But
Mhm.
if it's an ad on, whatever socials or the TV, I'm ignoring it
Yeah.
because they're
I
all
mean,
just trying to sell me stuff.
yeah. I mean, that's obviously a good item if that's good for you. But I mean, that's how they get people, isn't it? If they can get one person, you're going to get all their friends as well. It's
Well,
pretty
and you
scary,
would
man.
hope, right? But what's funny to me is after I bought the item, that's when all the ads for it start showing up for me. And I
Mhm.
laugh because I'm the opposite of everyone else. I'm not looking at the ads. I'll notice the ads start popping up and then I laugh and I was like, why do you keep advertising to me? I've already bought it.
Yeah.
Not your demographic anymore.
It is
So
weird when
I
you talk about like,
mess with it.
yeah,
I mess with it back.
you start.
YouTube has no clue who and what I am. YouTube is just so confounded by it, throws everything at me. At this
Yeah.
point, it's like, I don't know. Do you want this? Maybe. Like,
But it is weird when you talk about certain products, like or a car or something like that, and then the next day you're literally getting an advert for it. I mean that is like, I mean, for most people go,
always listen,
they're listening to
it's
us. Yeah,
always listening.
it's
And it
listening, it's
has been.
watching. Yeah.
I grew up knowing that the TV was listening to you.
Hmm.
And, God, in the 80s, you told that to anybody and they thought you were absolutely batshit crazy.
Do you think they was doing that in the 80s as well?
Of course it was. It was doing that in the late 70s.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, it wasn't tech companies. I mean, it was other things that were listening. But like, if they had that technology, you don't think that
Oh yeah.
companies aren't going to ask for that technology and use it? Of
Hmm.
course they are. Of course they are, because everything is trying to get an algorithm in order to make you buy or force you down a certain rabbit hole or a chute.
Hmm.
And that's why if everyone listening can just mess with your algorithm a little bit once a day, and
Hmm.
trust me, anyone that I send memes and reels to knows my algorithm is wonky because like I get a lot of really weird stuff and they'll be like, you perfected your algorithm today, didn't you? And I'm like, oh yeah,
My algorithm's
I went
messed up. Yeah.
sideways down that rabbit hole. Um,
Mm.
so once or twice a day, look up something completely antithetical, so completely the opposite of what you either believe or what you think or what you're interested in, and it messes with it. And
Interesting.
basically, it's going to start trying to figure you out again. Now,
Yeah.
you got to remember, social media, it's watching you through your camera. So the longer, like TikTok, that's why in the beginning, everyone said, like, TikTok just knows what you need and it sends it to you. It
Yeah.
is watching your eyes dilate. It's watching how long you're looking at the video.
Yeah.
So what I do, there are ways around all this stuff, is when I'm watching a video, I actually put my phone to the side so the camera's facing away from me and I watch it to the side. So
Oh
the camera
wow.
can't watch me when I'm watching.
Yeah.
It doesn't know if I put it down to go do a dish. It doesn't
Yeah.
know if I put it down because I'm getting dressed.
And
It
that is
doesn't know why
pretty
I put the phone.
wild. Yeah. Because I know on your Instagram and stuff, it knows how long you're looking at a picture for,
Oh yeah.
which
Oh
is
yeah.
pretty wild. So I mean, that is pretty scary to be honest. But it does. I mean, you only have to look at your phone and it registers you straight away. Opens the phone, So we know that the phone it can see your face and it does know your face. We know that.
Never do fingerprint or facial ID.
Oh, I do
Just
facial. I do facial. But even if I've got glasses
absolutely
on,
don't.
it knows. Like I could put these. I know people can't see, but I could put these like wacky glasses on that I've got right next to me, and it'll still open up. So it knows it knows your nose. It knows your.
Don't recommend doing that though.
Nah,
No.
that's too late for me, JJ. I've done
I'm
that.
sorry, buddy.
But AI is what I mean because I rely on AI every day now, and which I think a lot of people
Okay.
do. It's become like a part of. and it's becoming more and more a part of our world. I know it's becoming in most workplaces now using AI, and it's just going to get more and more, and it's going to
Mhm.
be a point where we probably rely on it so much that we like our cell phones now. We need our cell phones now. They're a part of our life, whether we like it or not. You take them away, our world's completely different, and I think that's going to be the same with AI.
Bit. I I do feel bad because it's not allowing anyone to remember things. And the other thing is that, AI isn't perfect. It lies and it can be altered.
Hmm.
Like the whole thing with Grok recently, where people asked it a question about Elon, and it basically said like Elon was more fit and a better athlete than LeBron James.
Who's
Um,
Grok?
yeah, yeah. He decided to mess with his own AI and make him like the supreme body of the
Yeah,
world. Like
yeah.
he's an Olympic athlete, etc. You know, so remember those things can be messed with.
Hmm.
And depending on which one you're using, it is calibrated a specific way in order to A, keep you engaged, but also it wants to learn you and it's trying to make you happy because you being happy means you're going to use it.
Hmm.
So a lot of times it's giving you fake answers. I can't tell you the amount of times well, AI says this. Well, that's wrong. How do you know it's wrong? Because I lived through it. Like you can't tell me something didn't happen when I was there. Like
Yeah.
so
Do you know what I do?
this
I
is
use I use two AIs. So I use one and then I fact check it with the other one. And they're
and
like
that's
correct
not
each
bad.
other.
Yeah, and that's not bad. And this is why books, right? So I found this years ago. I had an original Mothman book. Um, and
What
then I had two others. The other one bought like a brand new edition Mothman prophecy book. And then the other
great
person
book.
got it on Kindle, like Kindle version. All three of our books were different.
What some of the wording?
Yeah, the wording, some of the sentences, some of the paragraphs would get cut off. Yeah, it was weird. So we started comparing notes of why was this changed? This isn't like someone misspelled a word. Like these are weird editorial changes over time. The Kindle one was vastly different than the original version that I had. So
No
this is
way.
why I have old books. So if you can go to your local Goodwill or if you have, a thrift store book place, get some of those older books, especially dictionaries and stuff. The things that they're saying words mean do not mean the stuff that I'm finding on AI or
Hmm.
the stuff that even Google sometimes is coming up with. I just had this happen the other day. A friend of mine sends me a video and she's like, hey, this looks really cool. The Age of Disclosure documentary that was coming out.
Hmm. I was going to
And so
ask
I'm
you about that.
listening to the video. Yeah. So I'm listening to the video and it's saying this is coming out November 21st. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This has been out. Like, I've seen part of this. And so I go to Google and and this is days before it came out. And I put into Google, Age of Disclosure, when was it released? And it says March of 2025. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I've seen it because it came out in March. And then she sends me two more videos. She's like, maybe it didn't come out in America. And I'm like, well, how'd I see it? you know? I didn't exactly like
Is this?
fly to another country to go watch something.
Yeah.
And then I look again, I re-Google what I had Googled like 3 hours before, and now it says the release date is November 21st.
This is the one that
So
came
why
out
am
last
I getting,
week.
yeah. So why am I getting two different answers?
And did you see it as well? You saw it before.
I I have seen parts of it. I do not understand how I've seen it.
Interesting. A Mandela effect?
I know the flow of it and everything. Now, granted, I know that I've watched things that have talked about it,
Hmm.
but I've seen it. And so when it said it came out in March, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I've seen it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, maybe it's just hitting like Prime or something. Like maybe I saw it on another streaming app. And then I Google it again. And then all of a sudden it's telling me, no, it's dropping on the 21st of November. And I'm like, what?
That's
How?
weird. That's weird.
Yeah. And I've had that happen with other things. I'll look up a word or a definition of a word, and it will tell me one thing, and I'm like, but that's not what that word means.
Hmm.
And then I have to bust out my ancient dictionary, and then all of a sudden there I find the actual definition that I know. And I do understand that words evolve through time, right? Like dictionaries get updated, especially with slang and, different ways that we use it. But
Hmm.
normally they would have like the older meanings of things. And now it's just, they're just showing the updated version. And this is a whole thing happening in Japan. I was watching a whole thing on that a lot of the youth in Japan, like 20 and under, aren't able to understand anyone who's 80 and older. Like they're
I
talking to
saw that.
completely
I
different
saw.
language.
I heard that somewhere recently as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And it's
wild.
happening in other countries too, where the language barrier, it's not just that language evolved. Like if it evolved, there's slang and stuff like that. That makes sense.
Hmm.
This is like almost like words have completely different meanings
Yeah,
and how you conjugate, etc.
yeah,
Like the
that
whole
is
form of language.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I heard that about the Japanese thing somewhere. There's different levels to the language, and like the older you are, the difference, and the difference is so much, as you say, between 20-year-olds and 80, for example, like
Yeah.
massively. That's pretty wild. I mean, I know the
Well, and
kids
then
change words,
yeah, and
make
then
words, and but that's
true, but like the basis of language should still be there.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
absolutely. That's wild. Yeah.
it's very weird.
I mean,
And then you have a whole generation that they weren't taught cursive, so they don't know how to read anything that's older,
mhm.
which God bless them when they get into, the workforce, if they're going to be a documentarian or a historian, like they can't even read anything, before 1950 pretty much.
Yeah.
Grandma's recipes are all dead to them because most of those are in cursive.
Going back to like your knowing of the Age of Disclosure documentary, do you think that may be something to do with your abilities and like just like the knowing that you have?
It could be. I'm still really confused by it. And I have had some time skips and jumps recently,
Mhm.
where like I very clearly remember we went to something, this and this and this happened, and I'm being invited to go again as if I've never gone. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, we've already done that. Why would we do that again? My friends are like, honey, we've never done that. And I'm like, no, we did. And then so and so came and we did this and this happened and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, like we've never done that. I'm like, yeah, we have. And I look at my calendar and there's nothing. And then we'll go. And then the whole thing plays out exactly like what I thought. I'm like, oh, that's so time isn't linear to me.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen a ton where it catches me completely off guard like that.
Mhm.
But I've been noticing it's happening more and more where I'm very like, we've already done this.
That is pretty wild. Do you think that's like to do with like the dream state and seeing it play out in dreams before, maybe, or something like
I think I've just been hopping around
that?
in time a lot.
Yeah,
Probably in order just to figure out like where we're at in this world because
yeah,
it's so weird right now.
it is.
What we are living through is just,
Yeah.
and this week, I mean, it's only Monday, and this week alone, the amount of news has dropped like today alone. If people understood the long-term consequences for what's happened today alone,
Hmm.
it's historical, and it's
I mean,
Monday.
I've not really seen the news today, to be honest. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. And I don't even know, it eventually will hit your country, but in America alone, it's just been a
Yeah.
fun.
It is what the world is pretty wild right now. We're kind of at a place where I don't know, nothing's really that shocking anymore. I don't know if you think the
Because we're
same.
also desensitized to it.
Yeah. And that
Yeah, and
must
there's
be
a
on
lot of apathy.
purpose.
But it is. And there's also a lot of apathy. I'm I'm gonna say something a wee bit controversial.
Oh, let's go. Go on, JJ.
Hope this doesn't get flagged for this,
Oh.
but oh well. So when I was young, like still in school age, um, I was always I learned how to read a lot earlier than everyone else. I always did a lot of schoolwork at home, years before, right? Like my dad read me from the dictionary every night, putting me to sleep. So I was around a lot of that. I was around a lot of politics. My parents always talked like adults around me. So I wasn't babied. And I think it was middle school or early high school. Can't remember which one. They wanted us to do a book report about like a larger subject having to do with history. And I chose to do one on the Communist Manifesto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How old is you there, JJ?
I was between 13 and 15. I know it was in that range because I couldn't drive yet. So, down to the library I go and I'm checking out all these books. And, this is back in the day, because I'm older. This is back in the day that when you checked out these books, you were instantly put on a register. Like your name instantly went into a database.
Watch this
somewhere.
one.
Someone was like, okay, she's not just interested, like she's reading. I had like 20 books. Like even the library was like, we're not supposed to give you this many. I'm like, it's for a research project. I'm like, okay, like no one else is gonna want to get these, so fine. So I had read all these books about it, and I do this massive book report. So when I tell you I'm a little more familiar with certain concepts than other people are, I highly recommend that the average person understand what that is. The original one, not the chat GPT version, okay? Like the original points from it, because a lot of it has been happening. And so with a lot of these, well, you want to call them psyops or psyops upon psyops, that have been happening, a lot of this like very cult-like behavior that's been promulgated from politics and then leaching into religion, and everyone has to pick a side and you're either with us or you're against us type of thing. I mean, and I post memes that make fun of this stuff, whether people understand it or not is their business, but I digress. I'm trying to get people to think outside of this very limited little box that they keep looking through, and call yourself a conspiracy theorist, whatever. Like just see it for what it is. You are being marketed to. The more you are putting yourself in a box with all of these labels, you are being told to do that so that you can dislike or hate another side, right? That does not make sense. And it's very hard for someone like me who sees this and knows better. And I'm like, you're not living what you say you're living. You're saying that you're this religion and that you follow this religious leader, but you're doing absolutely nothing whatsoever that's on the criteria. Like, I will have people who will tell me, well, I'm a Christian. Great. I was raised in a metaphysical Christian household. That's awesome. What's your favorite verse? Well, I haven't read the Bible. This is what I depend on the pastor or the preacher to tell me. I'm like, why wouldn't you? So you're literally relying on some other person to tell you their version of what that means instead of you doing any groundwork. But don't forget, they're going to weaponize it against me because they heard a talking point. And the minute I come back, which I did a recent short video on this, the whole thing that happened with Nikaylee on TikTok, who started calling the churches saying, I've got a hungry baby, I need baby food. And most of the churches told her no, hung up on her, were horrible. The mosques said yes immediately, like, where are you? We'll give you food. They did well. And then some of the very small, older parishes, this one man, I mean, I was moved to tears by it. He was like, okay, what do you need? What flavor? Like, do you need food? You're the mom. Do you have food? And she's so taken aback. And she basically tells him, I'm doing a social experiment. And he was like, please, come on down to the church. Well, she actually ended up going and told him it takes a lot to get an atheist back in a church. And he's crying, and $100,000 of donations came into his small church because people were so moved that finally a man who truly is following Christ was doing his job in the proper right way, whereas all these mega churches epically failed. And they've been doing it in the UK, by the way, too now. Your churches, unfortunately, are way worse than ours. Oh, dear, the reactions are terrible. And I don't know why. I guess I thought like the UK civility would kick in and maybe they'd be a little nicer. I mean, it just sounds nicer because of your accents.
Real
But
horrible.
when they tell them, piss off, cheerio, ta-ta, I'm like, oh, it sounds lovely, but you're still saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So this one mega pastor who got called out for saying no, and basically telling her, you're bleeding off the system, you're what's wrong with this country in America. He is at his congregation and he decides to tell his congregation that this woman who did this experiment is a witch and a demon. And then he quotes this very old verse, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," from Exodus. And he's basically telling his congregation, green light on witches, like kill the witches. Because this woman asked for baby formula and he said no, because he needs a new Maserati. Excuse me very much. So I did a reaction video to that. I mean, there's been many of them, but mine was more historical basis because, again, I've studied this stuff for years. So I don't mind having conversations if you're open to it. If you're going to tell me, if you're going to quote scripture to me and try and weaponize it against me for my beliefs, be prepared because I'm going to come locked and loaded with a retort and it's going to be based in actual history. And then we can either have a conversation or you're going to tell me that you've never read the actual book and you're just recapitulating what some man said in service one day, and that you'll have to get around to reading your own Bible that you're vehemently telling other people they should die because you believe in it. The nerves. Okay. So with that verse, that comes from a time, it's very poorly translated, because remember, the Bible's been retranslated umpteen times. And the original word basically means sorceress or a cunning person. And it basically meant back in those times, right? The Israelites were tribes. So they would wander around, they lived in tribes. They were nomads, they had no land. That's why they were constantly walking around trying to find more people so that they could start procreating and then have a bigger group and then finally land somewhere and either have an army to take over and kick people out or to like find a place that they could call home. And so that's why the whole majority of the Old Testament is basically a guidebook of how to procreate and how to stay alive, which is why don't mix this and this, don't eat pork, because pork has very poor hygiene. Unless you cook it properly, you're ended up getting worms and you would die, because back then they didn't have showers and like antibiotics and all the stuff we do now. And again, these were nomadic people. So what would happen is there would be these roaming people who were conjurers, sorcerers, spell work people. And typically they would get asked to do spell work for love spells. And back then, the easiest way to do a love spell was to use not only the person asking, but also the person that they wanted to make love them to get their bodily fluids. And this doesn't just involve, sweat. This is urine. This is feces. This is blood. And back then, if you ingested any of that, you could die. And you would also probably get hepatitis A. And that goes very, very viral very quickly and literally could wipe out an entire tribe. So if you're trying to stay alive, you're trying to tell people, hey, don't mess with these things that are probably going to kill you. So the original verse in the original form basically means don't let these type of people live within your tribe because they breed disease. But the way that it ends up getting worded all these years later, it sounds like, oh, don't let witches live. So like off them. That's not what it meant. It just meant don't let them live within the tribe. Mm-hmm. Like don't mess with that. The Old Testament is rife with issues. And, The mistranslations are definitely some of them. But the other part is people don't fully comprehend what it was trying to do. And if you don't understand the historical purpose as to why this was written the way it was written and what these people were trying to do, you're not going to get it. Right? And that's the problem, is because no one remembers history anymore and no one really delves into the depth of anything much anymore. Everyone stays on the surface. They're not getting these deeper answers. And so they're just randomly quoting scriptures thinking, oh, good, I can make myself feel better. And this person should, not live because my book says so. It doesn't, though.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's not forget King James, whose Bible a lot of people like to quote and use. He was gay.
Really?
They found his love letters from his gay lover.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
It's the hypocrisy for me.
I mean, yes. I mean, we did the episode on the Salem witch trials, which obviously, we know what happened there. Very dark time in history, and that's happened many times over our history. And yeah, a big thing that you said at the time then was this could actually, something like that could happen again. And to me that's
happening.
Like it's been happening.
It's been happening. I warned everyone about this. This has been happening again. It started. Okay. I really do need to do a video that explains a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But which I'll get to eventually. When you hear me harp on things, okay, like I harped on solar flares for a long time, trying to get people to understand there's a reason I'm bringing all this up. I'm not just super interested in the sun. Like, this is going to have a spiritual impact as well as on our planet. There's a reason. So I talked to you, and I've been on like 5 other shows talking about the Salem witch trials. I don't like to go on a show and talk about the same thing that I've already talked about on another show. I get bored, and anyone who likes to listen to me, which thank you, all like 4 of you, I don't want them. I joke, but but I don't want them to have to hear the same thing over and over and over again, right? Because there are some people who are really kind or like, yeah, I want to support you. I want to listen to anything you've been on because I like asking for feedback. Like, if I sound like a total numbskull, please let me know so that I don't do that again, right? But I went on 5 different shows talking about that. And the reason why is because I already saw the framework was there for it happening again. And it's been ramping up. And this last thing, with these phone calls to these churches and having him bring up that verse started a lot of people on that bandwagon again. And there's a lot of this, it's us versus them, instead of realizing it's not, it's us versus these people at the very tippity top who are playing most of you like marionettes. But the issue is they're so indoctrinated that you're not able to tell them that, because then they'll think, no, you're, red pilled or whatever the pale colors are, right? Like, you're red pill, you're blue pill, whatever. And I sit here and I'm like, you all are. That's the problem. Like, and then there's this new term called black pill that I had to Google when someone told me I think I've been black pilled. I'm like, what's that mean? Like, do we need to pump your stomach? Black beauty? Because those haven't been around a long time, sir. And basically what it means is someone who like sees it all for what it is and just thinks we're all doomed. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not a happy and pleasant place to be in either. Like, there is a way out of this if we all just realize, hey, I'm being fed a whole bunch of horse pucky, and I've got to move myself out of this. I don't have an enemy of another person. I have an enemy of these concepts thinking that they can pull all these strings and, treat all of us like cattle, basically. And if you stay away from certain things, you're not going to be as indoctrinated in that. And yes, I believe in rights for everyone. Why wouldn't I? That's a spiritual concept of the highest order, right? And this isn't a matter of like, oh, live and let live. This is a matter of everything is energy and everything has a purpose. But also, I don't go against anyone else's consent. So if someone else wants to stay in their tiny little hidey hole of belief, I'm not going to sit here and try and cajole them out of it. Go ahead and stay there. That's fine. You're comfortable there. You will come out if you want to. And when you want to, you'll have people with loving arms who are ready and willing to pull you through. Whether that's myself or the other tons of people around, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone comes out of it on their own time. And it's sad.
Yeah. We are living in some wild times. And we're definitely in a world, yeah. And we're definitely in a world where, divide and conquer's always been a thing. We know that. And they want everyone hating each other. They want everyone at war with each other and disagreeing on all sorts of different subjects, while, as you say, a very small majority of people control the world and are kind of, putting us against each other. And I think a lot of people can see that, whatever your religion are, whatever your beliefs are. I think a lot of people can see that as well, that is happening. But yeah, there is tribes. People are very tribal. Humans are very tribal. I mean, you look at the paranormal world, how tribal that can be. Where people are arguing about Bigfoot and stuff. Which happens, which we've seen it happening, and people will, make tribes about everything, and that's just how people are. I know what you're saying.
It's very interesting to me to hear people fight about something as small as pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, well, I will fight for that because that's wrong.
Listen, okay, and I say it's right, Tommy.
My wife loves pineapple on pizza as well. But I think it's wrong.
I have no issue with the fact that you don't like it. So if we were to go out on pizza, I'd say, hey, let's get half with, half without.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Even though the pineapple juice does trickle in, and it's, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll put mine on later. I've done that too, But it's like, I wouldn't get up in arms because someone, I mean, when I was a kid, I put lettuce on pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, I was like 3. Okay. So he was trying to give me the freedom to cook and make something. And I was like, lettuce on the pizza. It looks delicious. And he was like, really? That's an interesting choice. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, do you want to bake it? And I was like, well, let's try it, because I thought it would get crispy. And it came out, and obviously lettuce does not get crispy in the oven. It turns to mush. So I was like, yes, this is terrible, but I still want lettuce on pizza. So I ended up chopping up some more and putting fresh on it, right? And we laughed about that for years. Oh, you remember when you put lettuce on your pizza? I was like, yeah, it was like a salad and pizza at the same time. I was being efficient, right? Put some ranch on, it's great. Years later, there's this place called California Pizza Kitchen that was around. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. And so I'm at like a staff meeting, and we all had gotten ourselves little personal ones. And so I'm looking around at what everyone else got. And my coworker gets this one, and it's basically this huge pile of lettuce. And I just start cracking up. And of course, no one else gets it. But like, I'm in the corner by myself, just losing it. And they're like, what's the issue? And I'm like, it's lettuce on a pizza. Like, I did that when I was 3. And they're like, yeah, this is their signature pizza. It's literally lettuce on a pizza, and it was their signature pizza. I was like, okay, I was just ahead of my time.
That was your idea.
I could have been a millionaire. But
what does that taste like? Is that good?
I like it.
Yeah.
You get like the crispy with like the pizza. Like, it's great. I mean,
I need to try that. I need to try that. But pineapple, definitely a no-no.
Great with ranch. And I like sweet and savory, right? So like for me, like at Chinese places, I love like the sweet and sour prawns, or like I like the sweet with the savory at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just how I like my food.
Yeah, I need to
No
try
big
that.
deal.
Lettuce on the
I
pizza.
I don't like buffalo sauce. Buffalo sauce makes me want to gag. I hate it. I respect the fact that there are like a bazillion buffalo wing places in existence, and apparently 3/4 of the population
Yeah.
adores this stuff. I don't. I don't like sriracha sauce either. It smells vile to me. I will eat cilantro
Yeah.
raw. Like I love it. And I didn't understand that like some people have this gene that it tastes like soap to them. And I was like, I've eaten soap before. It tastes great too. Like,
No.
yeah, yeah. My mom tried to wash my mouth out with soap one day, and I was
Oh, I
like,
had
this
that
isn't.
once when I was little. When I said a
Yeah.
bad word, I got the soap in the mouth.
I
Yeah.
said a lot of bad words.
Yeah.
So she just shoved the whole bar of ivory in there to make me stop talking.
You can't do
Mouthy
that
to me.
anymore. You can't do that anymore.
Understood. Well, they also have like the foaming cleanser and all that. And that's not good. Just an old-fashioned bar of ivory.
But definitely no pineapple on pizza, JJ. I'm not having that one. I will go to war over that because that's a no. I'm
But see,
joking.
for me,
I'm
like, why
joking.
would I want? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, just
Yeah.
okay, you like it, I don't. No
Yeah.
big deal.
That's just people. Yeah. That's people. Unfortunately, it's we're never gonna. You're never gonna make everyone happy. That is for sure. You know.
I
And
think that's also the time
we
that
can
we're in
try.
right now because humans need to level up
Mm-hmm.
and get to a point where everything is so outrage. I mean, honestly, we're at a breaking point. The world and the society as it is right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
not sustainable the weight that we're going. And so something massive has to change and be restructured because it makes no sense
Mm-hmm.
the way that everything
It does
is
feel
set up.
like we could go pop at any moment. You know, there's threat of wars, there's threat of, all sorts of threats. And it does feel like there could be a big explosion. Every day there's like people are ready for an argument, for a war, especially online. But yeah.
Yeah, keyboard warriors. Y'all are
Yeah, man.
interesting.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I'm definitely like, you want to sit and talk about this? Because I will.
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
keyboard, like, oh, I'm gonna get behind a keyboard and act like I'm all tough. I'm like,
Yeah.
are
That's not
you though?
tough. Would you say if I was right in front of you? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. People are like a little intrinsically scared of me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I won't mess with you, JJ. That's for sure.
By the way, right before we were our time, I went outside, right? And across the street, there's this man with this bellowing voice. Like I think if he whispered, you'd still hear it like two towns over. Like he couldn't help it. And I'm hearing him say, yeah, they paid $1 million a day and no one came. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. Like I'm eavesdropping in a very random conversation right now. And then he goes, okay, you tell Mr. Cullum I said hi. And I was like, what are
Mr.
the
Cullum.
odds? Yeah, you. Isn't that
No
weird?
way.
He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to somebody else.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
weird. I mean, there
So
is. I've got a lot of family in America. I have got a lot of, but that is weird.
that is weird. I
It's a
was
lot of
like,
weird.
interesting timing. I'm about to go talk to one. I'll let
I'm
him
about to
know.
talk to Tommy.
You didn't ask my opinion, but like I can't help but overhear you because you talk louder than the fighter jet that went
It's
over.
probably talking about my dad. My dad does a lot of business in the US. Maybe,
Oh,
maybe it's a small
yeah.
world. It is
Oh,
a
that would be
small
interesting.
world.
That
JJ,
would be interesting.
it's been so cool catching
It
up.
has. Can I tell you one more
Absolutely. I
story
was just
before
going to
we
say,
go?
is there anything else that's happened that? Yeah, of
Well, I have
course.
one other cute one, and I want to end with this one because it's sweet and it's heartwarming, but also it's a good lesson. You know me, I always want to
Yeah.
put little lessons in there other than just bitch and moan about the state of the world. Okay. So, a couple months ago, I had a daddy long leg spider that showed up in my bathroom, as you do. And I would talk to it and I said, hey, you can hang out in here. I understand you kind of like the warmth and the steaminess and you get water. Just kind of stay out of my way. I'll stay out of yours. How about that? Right. Just kind of did whatever spiders do and it stayed out of my way. And so when I would go in, I would talk to it. I mean, it was there for like a good 2 or 3 weeks and it got pretty big. And so I was told that the bigger they get, they're probably females because I was calling it Frederico. And then I was like, oh, it's probably a girl, right? So I was like, okay, Frederica. And so every day, hi, Frederica. Frederica got saved out of the tub once. And there were a couple other times where I was like, hey, you need to move to the other side. And, and it would listen. And so it started where I would come in and I would say, hi, Frederica. And I'd wave. And I'm not lying. I should have had video of this. It would put its leg up and it looked like it was waving back. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And also I play music in the bathroom. So it's probably just knew like vibrationally it was about to get rocked out. So it's like, whoa, lady. So anyway, I this one night I see Frederica and I see another smaller daddy long legs in there. And I'm like, hey, buddy, you better stay away from her because she will wrap you up and eat. Like she's a little quicker on the draw than you think. And I see him kind of like move over after I said that. Like, good looking out. Okay. So that night I'm in bed and I suddenly I get woken up by something. And there wasn't a sound or anything. I'm awake. And I'm looking around and I'm trying to figure out what woke me up. And from the bathroom, I see like a female spider that was black and yellow, had like a yellow band on its face. And the spirit comes shrieking out of the bathroom, not a noise, but just like the movement really, really fast, comes over by my face and then just out the window. And I thought, okay, I don't know what that is. So, I light blast real quick because I'm like, what the heck was that? And I do the whole thing and I basically go back to bed because I'm like, I don't even know what that was, but like, cool. And I wake up the next morning and I go into the bathroom and Frederica had passed away.
Oh man.
In real life. And so here I am and I'm thinking back and I'm like, that spirit was her coming to say goodbye.
Oh, wow.
Something that at the time I thought, oh, that's like a little scary. What is that? Is that a threat? And kind of got all in my head. And come to find out it was her little spirit saying goodbye on her way out.
Man, that is sweet. And would you actually saw that as well? You saw the spirit come out? Whoa.
Yeah, I just saw like a female spider spirit kind of just like come out, whiz through the room over me and then out the window.
Man.
So the reason I wanted to share that is it's very tender and sweet because even the smallest of things that live with you, I had a cricket once who stayed with me for like 2 weeks. He followed me everywhere. Had a little funeral when he passed away. He'd sing me to sleep. It was really, really sweet. Like he'd go in the bathroom with me and then come back to the room. It was wonderful. So even the smallest of insects, creatures, your plants, your pets, all the things you connect with them and they connect back. And it's very, very easy to see something move or see a spirit or have like a vision. And, your mind instantly goes to worst case possible, right? Like, is this scary? Is it evil? Does it want to kill me? Does it want to hurt me? Whatever. But it was literally just saying goodbye.
Wow. You had like a connection there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked to her like every day for like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that because it's heartwarming that you can make connections with even the littlest things that you don't think or know that you even exist, but they do. But also because we've been so conditioned with the paranormal to think if you see something, it's scary. And it's not always scary. Sometimes something that even looks scary, because, I'm still a little on the edge with the spiders. I don't know. I don't need them all hanging out with me all the time. But even something like a little scary like that, it ended up being really, really sweet. And how many other things in our lives have we been scared of that in reality were just something that meant to be really, really kind. It was just misunderstood.
Yeah. Oh, that is a nice way to end it, JJ.
It is,
Yeah.
right? Little tender, heartwarming.
Little ghost spider. Ah. Ah. Yeah, you don't think of like spiders having spirits and stuff. I know we,
I do.
they're living. Yeah, I mean, like the most people, they see a spider, like, they freak out and get the glass or whatever and get it out of the house. But we all can be guilty of that. I can't. If we see spiders, I tend to get them out of the house. I can't. But yeah, we don't see it that way. But that is a nice way to end it. And that must have been wild seeing that coming at you like a spider.
Yeah.
Frederica.
Oh. Very, very sweet.
Well, Frederica, we hope you're doing well wherever you are.
She's leveled up, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That makes me very, very happy.
JJ, it's been so cool catching up. I know you've had some tough times recently, but it's great to see you looking so well and back in a good place. And obviously you're going to be back on Let's Get Freaky in the very near future. We can't leave it that long again. Episode 10, let's go. I really appreciate your time and thank you very much.
I always appreciate you, Tommy. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone out there listening, and make it a wonderful, wonderful life.
Absolutely. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
And JJRose777 across the board, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube channel. And if you want to contact me about something, you can just look at the info on my YouTube channel or my link tree. It has all my links. Feel free to reach out.
Awesome. JJ. Your links will be in the show description. Thank you so much. Love you lots, JJ.
Keep
you being awesome. And I'll speak to you very soon.
Yay!
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, share it where you can. That is a great way to support the podcast. And we'll be back very soon for more freaky conversations. In the meantime, stay safe and keep it freaky. Bye for now. Thank you very much. Something's in your room. You can't move, you can't speak. It's a horrible, horrible feeling.
You're looking out into the darkness and then you see a figure, but it's darker than the darkness.
I just get this like really creepy feeling, and I see this like shadowy, demon-looking figure in the front seat of the car.
She used to come into my room at night and stand right by my bed, and I just was petrified.
I remember I saw something fly by my bedroom window. We heard the bathroom door shut. So then we looked out my bedroom window down the hallway, and the bathroom door was wide open.
So we came around the bend and we saw eye shine. This thing stood up. I mean, it stood up. And it had high pointed ears. It had a snout, had a long arm, and it grabbed the deer.
What?